There we go. Sorry about that, folks. You missed my wonderful intro. Yes, we are here live from the moon. Not that one. Here at the new set. Kind of taking a look and seeing what things are like here. You see we got a brand new little kind of a party going on in the background here. And we got kind of a good jam going and everything else. Everything's just kind of having fun here. But yeah, this is going to be the new set for a little bit. And as you notice, gaming way here, thought it would be ever so pleasant to put some googly eyes on me. Because he's charming that way. Personally, I'd prefer to have my own eyes, but that's a little bit hard for a hat. So, I think we need to kick off tonight first with thanking a bunch of people, because we had a ton of people over the past few weeks join the party. That's right. We got a bunch of new party members, and we gotta thank them all. We're gonna start off real quick here. Chirpy Dragoness! Welcome to the party! Adonis Thule! Welcome to the party. You will be a fighter. Young Falcon GG! Welcome to the party. You shall be our monk. Mira Catenia! Welcome to the party! How do you feel about Black Mage? Adagio VT! Well, with a name like Adagio, I can't help but say Bard. Kuroneko Kazuya! Welcome to the party! Kuroneko? That sounds like a Beastmaster to me. VTuber Rococo! Welcome to the party! You shall be our archer. Revan Cordelia! Welcome to the party! How do you feel about Mystic Knight? Yeah, with a name like Revan, that sounds good. Iridium Knight! Welcome to the party! Let's see, with Iridium Knight, how about a knight? Seems like a good fit. And Archeonyx! Welcome to the party. You shall be, let's think. We got a ranger. Ooh! How about a barbarian? That sounds good. I think that catches us up with all of the people who have joined the party. It's great to have so many new faces around. We're actually getting really close to the goal if you look over there. I'm excited about that. But first and foremost, I thought, well, we are just kind of warming things up here and kind of seeing what people are into and what's waiting for people to show up. I thought we'd have some fun and just kind of maybe play around with a Final Fantasy trivia quiz I found online. I thought it'd be kind of neat to kind of try that out. Let's get this set up over here. All right. So, we found this quiz There's a whole bunch of them, actually. There's, like, all these different Final Fantasy quizzes, and I really wanted to try a bunch of them. But a lot of them are just, like, just the PlayStation ones, or just the PlayStation 2 ones, and stuff like that. But, I mean, this is the Final Fantasy retrospective. We've got to do, like, the whole lot, right? We got to find, like, the hardest quiz of, like, all of these. Luckily, they have a lot of difficulties and things like that. So, I was going to try this one. It's like, you think you know Final Fantasy? Well, I'd like to think so. We're playing through all of them right now. This quiz covers any bit of trivia from every title in the Final Fantasy series, excluding the online games. Well, I've played one of the online games, so... From the NES, PS1, PS2, PS3, and PSP. PSP? I mean, most of the PSP stuff was just re-releases, right? Was there anything, like, independently released? I mean, maybe Dissidia? I don't know. But yeah, let's give this one a try. Alright. Let me see if I can zoom this in a little bit. Oh. Oh, yeah, that would be on the PSP, the Crisis Core. That's a good point. Question number 1. Almost every installment of Final Fantasy had begun with a melody called Prelude, which we were always rewarded with the victory fanfare after a battle, which is the only game not to include those staple tunes. Well, let's see. I actually do not know. I have not played Crisis Core. Not even the new one. Like, I have it. I haven't played it yet, but I have it. But I want to say it's 13, because 13 definitely doesn't use the victory fanfare. And I don't think Prelude shows up anywhere in it. Who does not belong in this group? Aerith, Garnet, Yuna, or Fang? Ooh, that's a tricky one. Because, like, none of those are from the same game, so that's not it. Let's see, that's gotta be, Aerith, Garnet, Yuna, Fang. Well, Garnet, Aerith, and Yuna are... Well, they at least start out as healers. They're not really dedicated white mages. Like, with... Aerith is kind of just dependent on... But I think the whole thing is that it's supposed to be like, they're the white mage, they're the healer characters that you start out with. It also could be like... early characters versus late character, because Fang is also in that category. You don't get her till way late. What boss must you fight to obtain the Masamune? That's how it was spelled in the first Final Fantasy. Oh, wow, that is a toughie. I'm trying to remember. Because the Masamune, I thought it was just in a chest. One word, dragon. Was it the zombie dragon, or... I'm gonna put zombie dragon just to... In Final Fantasy IV, where was Tella born? Oh. Do we even learn that anywhere? I mean, obviously, we had to have learned it somewhere, because, quite honestly, there's a question about it. My best guess, based on some of the discussion and everything, is it's Mysidia, because they all know who he is there. Yoshinori Kitase wrote Aerith's death into Final Fantasy VII to cope with the passing of his mother. Well, if I say false, and it turns out to be true, I'm going to feel like a right bastard, ain't I? But I don't think that's necessarily true. Just simply because, if I recall, the story is that there was no set person who was going to die in 7. Like, up until very late in development, it was not really decided who, if anyone, was going to die at the end of Disc 1. and then it ultimately ended up falling into Aerith. Oh, spoilers, by the way. In Final Fantasy IX, while on Terra, Zidane is worn and losing faith, pushing away his allies. What song is playing during this scene? Oh, I know this one. You Are Not Alone. I love that song. If you ever want to hear a really great version of You Are Not Alone, I recommend the one that's on like the Distant Worlds albums from the concerts. They did a really good rendition of it on there. Ultimisia was the first female antagonist in the series when she debuted in Final Fantasy VIII. Was she though? Because that's like... I mean, I guess it really kind of depends on what you define as the antagonist. We have Chaos, Emperor, Xande, Zeramus. I don't know, Zeramus is genderless, so... Exdeath, Kafka, Sephiroth. Well, again, that's another thing. It's like, would Genova qualify as the antagonist? I mean, she's kind of got more of a whole thing going than Sephiroth. I mean, she's more of a villain in 7 than Sephiroth is, honestly. But, and she's referred to as Mother, but is she? I'm gonna go true just because a lot of them are not wholly identifiable as female. In Final Fantasy IV, the Magus Sisters are bosses that sit atop what tower? Well, this one's kind of easy because 3 of these are not in the game. It would have to be Zot Tower, or the Tower of Zot. In Final Fantasy IX, whose theme song is titled Loss of Me? Oh, I actually don't know this. I've only ever played through 9 once, and don't get me wrong, I loved it, but... I want to lean towards either Freya or Aiko? Since Freya has a lot to do with loss, like they both... Freya is dealing with a lot of loss, and Aiko is dealing with a lot of identity issues. I'm gonna go Freya. I don't really know. In Final Fantasy I, Origins for the PlayStation, inside Elfheim's small graveyard, there's a tombstone with an epitaph for what Nintendo character? That is Link. And yeah, that is true. If you go and check the tombstones, there's one tombstone that says, "Here lies Link." How many names does Garnet have, including her royal title in Final Fantasy IX? Oh, I want to say it's 4. It's like Garnet of something something. Kalidbolg, Titus's legendary weapon in Final Fantasy X, translates to consume all, according to which mythology? It's Kalidbolg. That's Celtic. There's a Cid in every Final Fantasy game, and he almost is always an ally. Which Cid was the first villain and boss in the series? Oh, what was his full name? I need a full name. It was 3 words, which means there's one I'm missing. It was Cid Raines. But I can't remember the last one. It was his full name. What year was... It was 89, wasn't it? This is when Final Fantasy I was released? And all the main characters in Final Fantasy XIII, including Dodge and Sarah, were branded by the same fal'Cie. False. Dodge was branded by a different Valsy. Dodge was branded by the one that runs the geothermal thing, whereas everyone else was branded by the one that was in the Vestige. Submit my answers! Hey, we got the first one right. That's good. There's no explanation for the missing music. The missing music is there because of the fact they went with a completely different composer who wanted to do their Brando thing and kind of just everything. That's as I understand it. Oh! Fang uses a spear while the others use staves or wands. That is... I mean, we got the right answer, but we came to it in a very different way. The correct answer was Tiamat. But you don't have to fight Tiamat. You have to fight Tiamat either way. You don't have to... that was my initial thought, was Tiamat, but it was like, well, it's a dragon. It's like, okay, yeah. But it's also... Mysidia. Oh, I was right. I was just guessing. False. Did not write for Aerith. Kitase ordered plan on killing off one of the secondary carriers to break away from the self-sacrifice. But it was between Barret and Aerith. I didn't even know it was down to that much. I thought it was... there's, like, someone besides Cloud. You were not alone. I knew that one. The correct... first... The Cloud of Darkness. Again, this is tricky because it's one of those things where it's like... She does use female pronouns, but she's also not discernibly, like... Well, I mean, she's a cloud. I don't know if you could really say she had a gender. She just... But I guess, yeah, that... I completely forgot. Yeah, totally. Cloud of Darkness. But she's not really the antagonist either. Zonde is the antagonist. Cloud of Darkness just kind of pops out of, well, darkness and kills everybody, and then is like the final boss. But I mean, who would you consider the, final boss? Who's the antagonist of 9 then? Necron? Why? You don't see him before the final battle. It was Beatrix. Beatrix's theme was called Loss of Me. Huh. I find that to be very weird. I don't know why. The name just, I could see it. Like, I mean, I could see it for all the characters. There's ways you can make that name work, but... Yeah, Here Lies Link is on the tombstone. 3, it's Garnet till Alejandros the 17th. But, okay, so the 17th doesn't count as part of the names, I guess, despite the fact that it's part of her name. But the till does count, despite the fact that it's just an honorific. It's not even like a middle name. I don't know. I question that one. Kalidbolg is Celtic, yes. Oh! The correct answer was Sidolphus Deben Bonanza. I was off by a game. I forgot that the Cid in 12 is also a bad guy. And it was 87. This is a myth. If the game didn't sell well, he would have been forced to leave the industry, which is why he named the game his Final Fantasy. That is not true. It is true that he would have had to go back to college if the game didn't sell well, But that's not why he named it Final Fantasy. He has been on record saying that Final Fantasy, all they wanted was a name that had 2 Fs. That is it. Originally, the game was going to be called Fighting Fantasy, but they had a fight with a copyright for that one, so they ended up going with something else. But no, the part that's why they called it Final Fantasy, that story actually comes from Nobuo Uematsu, who, by the way, I believe it is his birthday today. Happy birthday, Nobuo. He claims that this was the case, but at that point, he was not part of the development, so his is kind of take it or leave it, whether or not how accurate you want to say his telling of the events were. Because Sakaguchi says it was not, like, that's not why he named it that. And yeah, Dodge was branded by Anima. Oh yeah, everyone was branded by Anima except for Dodge, who was branded by Kujata. Well, we got a 9 out of 15 on that. That's not terrible. And I think just with that, and good way to kind of warm up for the evening. Yeah, fix some of things here. So, with that said, I was gonna say, there is currently a poll going, that if we make it to the final boss tonight, or the final dungeon tonight, we are going to be using, I'm putting out a poll that you can decide and vote what jobs I will be using for, the final dungeon. Just to kind of change it up, so I'm not just freelancing up all the way through and everything like that. I'm putting the poll is in the chat box now, and if you want to go and vote in it, and I'll be checking it before we go into the final dungeon and changing everybody's jobs and everything. The top 4 voted on jobs will be able to be selected. If we end up with less than 4 jobs that have been voted on, we have a randomizer wheel that we will be letting decide who gets what job in Final Fantasy in the final for the final dungeon. So with that being said, let's head into the game. Switching over to game mode. There we are. So, last time we were on the search for the 3rd tablet, which we couldn't remember what the prophecy was. I actually had to go and look up the prophecy, because otherwise I was like, I have no idea. I also did some off-screen grinding, so you'll notice that we've kind of got all set just to go for the end of the game here. But I know that I was right about the prophecy. It does say under the water surrounded by fire, so...
Should there be game sound?
Oh, yes. Game sound needed to be turned on. There we go. I had it turned off so it wasn't playing while we were doing the quiz. Is it coming through now? Okay. Thank you, Siri. So, last time I checked all of the water spots, but it occurred to me that I was only looking for spots that were alongside the cliff edges, which is where usually cave entrances are. Just because it's a tile set that you can only place doors on like a certain edges and things like that. But I never actually went looking just in the ocean. So yeah, like, You see, like, this wall would be a great place to put a door in it if a cave entrance, because you can't put just, like, a cave entrance, like, here or anything like that. So, that's why I kept looking there, and I realized, well, maybe there's something I'm not seeing. And that's when if you look here, oh, pardon, it's right behind my head. You can see, like, right over here, there's like a little ring of things right behind my hat. And I didn't know if that was a thing or not, but I figured we could go check there. Because it's one of those things where it's like, I don't really know. It's got to be somewhere down here, right? We've checked all the walls, so I'm just throwing darts at anything I can find. Is there anything down here? What the? Is that like a little Easter Island head? Is that... No, that I can't go to it. Go back down. Under the water. But yeah, no, this is a head down there. I don't know why. Anyway, yeah, that's it's over this way. Well, there you have it, folks. There's a hole at the bottom of the sea. I was told this when I was very young. I didn't believe them necessarily, but apparently, yes, there is a hole. A hole. A hole. The bottom of the sea. The Great Sea Trench. What's up? You shall not pass. Yeah, well. Yeah, it turns out that Leviathan's really good at killing things. Deeper than the ocean floor, yet enveloped by flames, one tablet rests. See, yeah, that ocean floor thing should have probably been a clue. But, you know, it also would have helped if I could, you know, go back and reread those. Okay, this place is kind of cool. Although, the music, what the heck? What am I looking at? These things are creepy. They're like giant mouth things, but they're throwing up goo and... I think it tried to possess us right before the end. Let's see. Oh, there's a treasure chest down here. Ugh. I don't like it. No, sir. Don't like it. It continues to just reinforce my belief, the fact that the reason this game never got brought to the United States wasn't timing, wasn't scheduling, wasn't anything like that. Just the fact that for some reason they decided to make all the creepy monsters in this one. Water scroll. It's... Again! Oh, I shouldn't have cast Faraga. They live in a volcano. Why would I cast Faraga? Okay, I'll take it, but that doesn't make a lot of sense to me why they live down here then. I love the nice peaceful music along with the fires of Mordor. Why is it that every single fight in this place has some sort of gross, disgusting monster that I'm forced to look at and kill? I mean, I like the killing them part, that's fine, I enjoy that, it's nice because they're gross, but come on! Isn't there like a nice, like... I'll take a squirrel at this point. You know? I know we've had bad experiences with squirrels here. Fair. But I'll take them over this. Oh yeah, have you guys seen that thing going around that's like Final Fantasy 16? Like, there's an unknown icon in the game, and a lot of people are speculating that it's going to be Golem, because Golem shows up initially as question mark, question mark, question mark in Final Fantasy V. I do not buy that theory at all, honestly. If only for the reason it's like, Golem isn't the only thing that shows up that way? Like, we were just in... Last time, we were playing through and we were doing the underwater Walls Tower. Everything in there was named question mark, question mark, question mark. It's just what the game defaults to when you hide the name. Yeah, we got the Goliath tonic, which means nothing to me, really. Oh, pooey. It's a freaking puzzle. On the plus side, at least there's a treasure chest down here, containing a dragon fang. This goes down. Where's this leading me? Okay, so am I supposed to go down or am I supposed to go up? Jesus! Who designed the monsters for this game? Seriously. I know it wasn't Nomura. He didn't start doing monster design until Final Fantasy VI. I love that. The timer didn't even go down a tick. Alright, I can't get hurt by the fire. That's gonna be the big pain in the butt. Depending on which jobs I end up with. for the final dungeon is I'm not going to have the benefit of all the passives that I've been using to get around easily. Jeez, skeleton, bone, flesh, chandelier thing. Oh, that was... Why? Why would you do this? Like, these are kind of things I would expect in the final dungeon, maybe? But... no. Instead, they put them in here. And I don't even know why. Is this like a... Is there gonna be a lore reason why all the creepy crawlies are in here? Like, it turns out that, like, oh man, this is the you know, when there's no room left in hell, the creepy crawlies will walk the earth because you're in a hole that goes down. Interesting. The kingdom of the dwarves. What? I had no idea there even were dwarves in this game. Lolly-ho! Lolly-ho! There may just be 5 of us, but we welcome you to the great dwarven kingdom all the same. There's only 5 of them? There's 1. Hally-ho! Rally Bo is digging a tunnel. He said it would let us go around the world. But why would anyone want to do that? You know? I don't know. Lally-ho! Know anything about the magic lamp? If you take it back to where it's from, the lamp's power will be restored. I don't even know a magic lamp exists. Do I have a magic lamp? Items, key items. No, no magic lamp. There's a magic lamp, apparently. You do not sell anything I don't already have. So now we gotta find Rally Bow? This is just... That doesn't answer... Actually, that just leaves me with more questions. Why the... all this is down here if this is supposed to be the kingdom of the dwarves? What is going on? I'm starting to get the feeling like the whole, like, oh, the dwarves were the monsters that live in the deep, and the dwarves in the deep roads, and essentially I'm wondering if Dragon Age is essentially just this. You can't tell me that, like, Kingdom of the Dwarves plus a whole bunch of creepy monsters. I don't know if that's doing anything. See, it just echoes. I don't know. And there's one more skull over here. Ugh. Hey, we made a thing open! Lena is just making Ferris look bad, really. Contained Kaizenaku! Which, I mean... we already had those, so that's not much of a reward. Well, there's the tablet at least. Oink. Oink. Exdeath sent us. Oink. Told us to kill you. Oink, oink. Orders, you know, nothing personal. Oink, oink. Oink, oink, oink! And then they're gonna be like, yeah, they don't look anything like pigs. I don't know why they were oinking. More bio. Hate bio. It's the bane of my existence. Luckily, I have Bahamut. What? Delta. Oh. So do we have to, like, kill him at the same time, or...? I need something I can hit them both with. Ah! Couldn't get it done in time. Oh, shoot. Well, at least Kryle didn't. Yes, just shoot all 4 right into him. There! Ha 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 ha! Finally! Yay! We obtained the 3rd tablet. Something is written on it. Receive the magic sealed in the magma flow. Meteor! Okay, I'm gonna headcanon this right now. The reason why all these creepy crawlies are down here, and the reason why there's no more dwarf kingdom, and the reason why there's a giant hole in the middle of the sea, is that's the reason why Meteor is the magic down here. Meteor, a giant meteor, crash landed on here, brought sort of like alien monsters and everything, stuff like it, Lavos style, which also I think was the plot of The Spirits Within as well. But they got stuck down here in the core of the planet, and have been stuck here ever since, but they wiped out the dwarves simultaneously, so. Also, there's supposed to be a tunnel going around the world somewhere? Ah. Oh yeah, she's still stoned. Should probably fix her. And then we will try out the power of Meteor! Wow. Possess? I wonder what that actually does. Hey, can we get over to the tunnel where the other dwarf is? Oh wow. You really Minecrafted this up. I ain't never worried about much till now, but it seems like something odd is happening above ground. I love how they capitalize that. I'm sure there's a forest above us. Yeah? That'd be the, Chocobo Woods. Oh, that's all? That's all you have to say, is there's a forest? Yeah. We're from the above ground. We know. Alright, now we have all 3 or 4 sealed tablets. Yeah, it's just this forest over here. It's where we have Boko 2 parked. Someone said we needed to visit the pirate place again before we finished the game. I don't know why. It was just a message someone left me. So let's see if we can find the pirate place. I found the pirate place. Aw, look! It thinks it's a legitimate threat. Anyways, why are we coming back here? Someone on the forums said we should. What's a forum? That's none of your business, Kryle. You're far too young to be going on the internet. What's the internet? Keep it that way. I still find it weird that when you open the doors that way, they have little fangs. Okay, I'm kind of curious what the little door here actually does now, because... this used to, like, do a lookout thing. Wow! Lovely. This merged world is sure full of wonders and dead ends. Dun 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 dun. What? Boko! Boko, what are you doing here? Sandra! You're alive! Sildra is not typically see-through. Ferris, what are you talking about? Ferris, do you see something? Don't you? Sildra's right there. Sildra's your name? Oh, you're such a good girl. Kryle, you can see her. Sildra's spirit says she wants to help you, Ferris. Huh? Such a kind soul. Oh. Received the summon monster Sildra. Oh, that is sad. You know what's even sadder? She doesn't have summon magic. Quick. Thank you, Coco. We'll be careful. Quick. Wait, that's Coco? Well, then where's Boko? Oh, there's chests in there. Are we finally going to figure out exactly what the point of that was? Oh, wow, 300 kill! Yes! Score! We're retiring! Forget about Exdeath. That Boko birdie healed up just fine. Fine enough to make him some kitties, huh? I'll still be seasick, tasting the rainbow. What? Once you get used to looking at them, chocobos are pretty cute. Wonder when Coco's chicks will be due. Yar har fiddle dee dee hick. That's racist. Against pirates. Thanks for healing the monster, Kryl. She's got such a big heart for the wild things of the world. She can't help but heal them, despite the fact that they're killing us. Oh, yeah. I forgot. There's the healing pools right there. Come on. If only, like, the encounter rate actually scaled with your level. So, like, once you get to a certain threshold, like, it drops down to, like, half. Because at that point, the monsters are more scared of, like, fighting you than they are of... But not to worry. After this, there's only 7 more games before we reach one where we don't have to fight them like that. The random battles are over. I don't know. It'll be a while. Alright. Time to unseal us some treasure. Now we can take on the zombie dragon. Actually, now it's full of people. Princess Lena! Thank goodness you're unharmed. What is that book? Oh, shall I read it for you? Following Enua's defeat, the weapons of legend were sealed in sack to break the seals 4 times. Oh. So this is where you went to frickin' find out what they say. Like, could they not have just made them the key items, like, in the descriptions? Shield Dragon, we meet again. Oh, right. Probably should be ready to hear her. Let's see what this Sildra does. That doesn't do any good. You ran away, stupid jerk. One of these days I'll finish you, Shield Dragon. The tablet! If breaking the seals is what you seek, approach the one you'd have and speak. But once 3 seals have been erased, by dust the stone will be replaced. 3 seals. I guess that means we can only pick 3 out of the 12 weapons. Yoichi's bow, yes. Well, does this mean, like, as I could have gotten the tablets as we've gone along, I could have just come and got these as we went along and been more prepared for things? Oh, look, Masamune! I don't even have to fight Tiamat. Tiamat. Rune Axe. Well, that's hardly impressive. Most of these have like legendary names, and they're like, oh, this is the Great Axe Ragnarok or something. This one's just Rune Axe. Okay. Oh no! The tablet! It shall turn to dust! Oh, good thing we have more. Gimme. Darn straight I'm gonna get all 12. I went through the trouble of finding all these stupid rocks. Sasuke's katana. Who's Sasuke? Naruto's friend? Now we're just stealing, like, weapons from anime characters who don't even exist at the time of this game's creation? Like... maybe... the legendary weapons travel through time. Assassin's Dagger. It's a dagger for assassinating people. The end. I think that's it for that one. Yep. Put in new batteries. I'll be honest, I was expecting a lot more to this whole process. Like, ultimately there had to be, like, fight big bad bosses or something like that for each of these weapons. I suppose we had to fight them to get the tablets, but I don't know. Now that you get the tablets, like, the actual getting the weapons is Gaia Bell. Kind of anticlimactic. I mean, I like the whole process. It's pretty cool, like, unlocking, like, ancient weapons of power and stuff, but at this point, I'm just walking around the room counterclockwise and just grabbing things. Like I was on Supermarket Spree. The best part is most of these will not be used. It's like, there's like, what, one job that uses the harp? What are the chances of having a bard? That is not an excuse for you guys to go and vote for bard. Okay, we got 3 left. The Fire Lash. I just find it amusing, because outside of, like, Excalibur and Masamune, they're not using any of, like, the iconic names for, like, any of the weapons. Like, at this point, we've established what some of the legendary names for these weapons are. I mean, the ones in Eureka were pretty much set the standard, right? And this one's just kind of using more generic names. Like, some of these I know are, like, in other games, but they're, like, normal, regular equipment, not legendary weapons. There. I have accrued all 12 legendary items. Now we are ready for the final dungeon. Seriously? You're gonna try and start crap with me now? Yeah, the song and dance thing for some reason is like... I forgot what that is, like, dance, like... She has the dancing dagger, which causes music to play. I think it's funny that that is... Sage's staff. Magus staff. Really? I find this very interesting. Like, what would they get? What they consider optimal? Alright, so, I don't think we have anything left to do. I think we've pretty much got it all done. We are going to go and rest up first before we go into the dungeon, and we're also going to take a break. Because it's about time for our break for the evening. A little early, but, you know, we're at a good stopping point, and I think we actually might be able to beat this game tonight. Oh, this is Karnak. I don't know, I just flew to a town. I didn't really pay attention to where it was. Yeah, sure, I'll take 20 gil for a sleep. 20 gil for a sleep. Do love the music. Alright, now it's time to do this on purpose. The Interdimensional Rift! Alright. With that, we're going to take our break for the night. But before I do that, I'd like to leave you guys with a reminder that, yes, we are still doing the poll. The poll has... The poll's got about 9 minutes left on it because I originally set it up to end during the break. So if you guys want, here's the poll and the link in the chat. You decide what I am going to use job-wise to beat the final dungeon. Anything that doesn't get picked, we're going to spin a wheel for it. So we'll be back with that whole thing after break here. But there's your chance to vote on it. As I said, there's about 9 minutes left. So by the time break's over, we'll be close, if not at time. That said, I hope you guys stick around and take this chance to stretch your legs, go grab a drink, get something to eat, have yourself some pizza. You can't have my pizza, it's my pizza. But, you know, get your own pizza. Actually, I have Red Lobster. I'm gonna have Red Lobster. Not sponsored. Just like Red Lobster. As I said, see you guys in a few minutes. Hang around, and we'll be finishing this game tonight. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back. How's everyone doing? Have a good break? I did. But the time has come, once and for all, to see what jobs we will be taking into the Interdimensional Rift. Oh. Thanks to all of you and your fabulous polls. Let's see what we get. Well, looks like we got a couple of polls here. That means we're going to have a knight and a time mage. Both very good, very solid. I like them. Very useful. Knight is going to give us a lot of good defensive positions and everything like that. Time mage is going to get, of course, we're going to have some damaging magic there, as well as various buffs and things like that. That still leaves the question of what to do with the last two positions, because this is only going to be covering. The knight will be Bart's, and the time mage will be Lena. But what about Ferris and Kryl? Well, we have the Wheel of Jobs. Wheel of Jobs. Turn, turn, turn. Tell us what job crystal we must equip. Woohoo! Ferris! What's Ferris gonna be? Alright, we're gonna have two knights. That'll be... Well, I mean, we'll be short on defense. And for Kryl... Ooh. Well! 3 knights and a time mage. The wheel has spoken. I will not disagree with it. There you go. So 3 knights and a time mage. This is going to be interesting. Luckily, thanks to being able to assign abilities, we should be able to at least have some healers in there, and some other abilities kind of like slotted in along with their base stats and everything like that. Not that Knight is going to have a lot of great magic stats, but we can definitely give them some different kind of buffs and things like that. Kind of make it a little bit more well-rounded party. That's the glorious thing about 5, is because we have the ability to customize our loadout, we can totally just go in and set up different jobs for our party here. That was a whole lot of word salad, wasn't it? Well, what I'm saying is we have Knight, and he will have... And we'll give him rapid fire. Lena is a time mage. Where's my time mage? Time mage? There. Time mage. And we'll also, since she's going to have the the best magic stats, we'll actually also just toss on Summon. Make her kind of like the all-around generic Ferris is also going to be a knight. Her ability, though, we are going to give her is blue magic. And Kryl is also going to be a knight. Why? Because this is just gonna be that kind of a headache of a night. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, instead of that, let's give her the ability to dual wield. All right, we're here. And we're in the desert, which is not something I was expecting. Note to self, we gotta make sure she has the gold hairpin on. Oh! Yeah, let's actually tweak a few things here. I know you have rapid fire, and I know that's nice and all, but I'm actually going to give you the ability to equip axes. So you can use the rune axe. Lena, you need to switch off and get that gold hairpin. I don't even know where this is going. Or why we're in a desert. Oh. Yeah. That's like the greatest hits of all the things that have annoyed me. That felt good. Is that a cloud? For 1,000 years we have been sealed within the rift. Whoa! Once Exdeath obtains the power of the void, our new home, a world of darkness, will be born. You have been long a thorn in the Lord Exdeath's side for long enough. The void will be your burial ground. Bwaha! Ha ha! Ha ha ha! Ha ha. Can't level 5 death me. Yeah, can't carry any more ethers. Use a cottage, though. Ow! Kinda seems wrong that, grenades can self-destruct. I mean, should we have to pull the pin? Just seems like a design failure on the part of the manufacturer, really, when you think about it. So judging by that area out there, I'm gonna say that we have to fight through, what? 7 mini-bosses before we get to Exdeath? This is gonna be a slog, but we'll do it. I'm more just confused by, like, the terrain. Although that's kinda cool, riding the chains up and down. Huh, which chain to... Oh yeah, we'll just cheat. And of course it goes up and down. And thankfully there are no encounters when you're riding on the chains. Jump on the chains and ride them. Come on, ride the chains and ride them. Another blood sword. Blood for the blood sword. Oh boy. Oh. Aha! Huh? Sidra! So the fact that the Interdimensional Rift has similar architectural design and aesthetic to the Ronkan Empire, I'm wondering if that's a plot point. And then we walked in here and all of that went out the window. I can't even play the piano. What is this world coming to? Wait. Do we... Are we actually in the town? I'm... very confused. But everyone's frozen in time. Like, this wasn't in the Rift. This was a town we could visit. It was like a ghost town type of thing, but... This is... Can I leave? Where does this take me? Whoa! Those are some creepy looking mushrooms. Give them to the Mario brothers. We will see who is victorious. The White Flame. Why does that sound like something from like a fantasy novel? All hail the White Flame! That is from something, isn't it? I know I've heard that name before, and not in this. I think it says something in this area that I'm just using the map to navigate it instead of looking at the screen at all. A ribbon! Huzzah! A Lilith rod! Huzzah? Is this where we start finding equipment that's better than the legendary weapons? Just notice the fact that when they get confused and then they get hit by something else that knocks them out of confusion, they actually just, instead of just resetting back into their place in line, they actually do like a little walk animation. That's kind of great. What the? Oh. They got big! These woods are so peaceful. Why don't you rest here? For all eternity! Calofisteri. Do you have like little wings on the side of her head, or she has a big green ball? Oh, that was quick. One of 7 down. And now we're... Kudos on them for reusing a lot of this stuff, because I'm pretty sure some of these are just flat out classic monsters with not so classic names. Because that's just the Catoblepis and the Hex Eyes. Oh no! luckily I have more supplies than I know what I need to do with. I always like the hexed eyes because they're like big giant piles of jelly with eyeballs on it. Like, even that skull has 3 eyes for some reason. It just seems like everything in this game is like trying to be creepy. Except for the hexed eyes, which honestly don't look that bad. Transform! Oh crap. Never mind. Oh! 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 I was not expecting to run into Omega. Okay. How come no one warned me about that? Jeez. Freaking out of nowhere super boss. Avoid walking near him. No way we can fight that guy. I mean, did you see that? He took us down from like to nothing, and like super quick. It was crazy. Why is everyone missing? It's... I guess that makes sense why there was a save point right there then, though. It's like, oh yeah, by the way, the super boss is right here. Oh. Why did the music stop? To be honest, I never thought you'd make it this far, but no matter. I soon shall rid you of your pitiful lives. The instant you touched this book, the big dimensional switch was activated. Oh, the dimensional switch was activated. Big mistake! Oh, it's a penguin. No, it's a panda. Interesting, he's using like Gaia moves. Oh. Well, we defrogged you just in time to finish the fight. 1,000-year-old book. From forth the rolling skies was loosed a vile beast devoid of soul. Omega was its name. The dragon Shinryu came upon its heels. Not e'en the legendary weapons 12 could subdue these evil creatures. Within the rift, the demons were interred, so they should remain until eternity's end, their names to stay unspoken evermore. Haha, I closed the book. Haha, I opened the book. The Book of Magic, Volume 14. The Secret of Gigaflare. When gathering power for the spell, one rendered and utterly defenseless for a moment. Casters, be wary. Yeah, but can I maybe use it? Oh! So that's what they meant by the dimensional switch. Some of these attacks are crazy, man. Oh, ninjas! Just what we needed. You know, it's not really a final dungeon until you run into some ninjas. Just dodging everything I have. We're in the Sky Castle. I just noticed the Deathclaws guys, like, they're these big monstrous, like, claw things, right? But they just look like they have just a dude's face in the middle of their hands. Uh-oh. Well, we're in trouble. No! I was so close to being able to just like have her like cost Bahamut. I shouldn't have let it go on as long as I did with the auto battle. I should have jumped in sooner. I thought it was going to be okay, but nope. Okay. Well, I found Thor's hammer. Which would be great if I was either, you know, a god of war or... Yeah, we're just gonna cast Meteor and be done with this. Nope, not gonna wait and see if it's... Yeah, that's what I was worried about. The worst part about that is it also paralyzes them. Not only does it talk them down to like single digits, but it also paralyzes them. Yep, those are armor. The other one had spears. I like the fact that it's like those. It doesn't really bother me. I know I've talked about how like the whole Roman Greek god thing kind of. What the? What? What? Ugh. Let's see, I'm trying to think. I'm just gonna do this just in case he tries to do that catastrophe move again. Because... Or not, he is catastrophe, but, you know, the Earthshaker move he did at the start was kind of like, oh wow, that's problematic, potentially. Oh, wonderful. He actually has a counter for that. Screw it, kill him quick. Oh, and he gave me a gold needle, too. How oh so kind of him. What about you? You gonna kill me too? Huh. Are you the ones who bear the crystal shards? Yes. I see. Then this shall be your burial ground. What? This is what I get for letting people out of frickin'... Oh, Azul Magia. Blue magic. No big, he dead. I didn't break it. I swear. Oh, these are all just bad guys, aren't they? Like, the whole room. These aren't like friends who are in prison. They're just in jail for some random reason. Why is it so hard to hit these guys? Oh! Well, it's probably because he's a giant snake thing in disguise. There's one thing after another in this place. Is there anything in here that's not a boss? Red slippers. Well, those would be great if I'd want to go home. Thank you. I've been locked down here for ages. Here's a little reward for setting me free. You're just gonna fight me. You're gonna attack me. And you're gonna have to kill you. Yeah, I don't believe that for a second. Everything else down here is trying to kill me, so... Come on. Let's do this. I'm just an old man. No, you're not. You're a dragon, lizard, serpent, snake thing inside of a big robe. You can't trick us 4 times in a row with that. I think you could probably trick Bartz 4 times in a row with that. Okay, but you can't trick Lena 4 times in a row like that. And she's the smart one. And the rainbow dress. Pretty. Oh. Yeah, I'm just waiting for that girl to show back up again here. You know she's coming. Yojimbo's a new one, though. I'm used to the ninjas showing up in the final dungeon, but Yojimbo's a new one. Bye. Oh, here it comes. Look out, boy, it's locked in that chest. Oh, here it comes. It's the man-eater. I thought that was a snake-eater. No, that's a different game. No. That's interesting. She can't even equip the rainbow dress. Or the red shoes. That's... Interesting. Also, yeah, she can use staves. Why is she... Oh, that's not gonna help. That's... Yeah, there. I just find it weird that she can't use... the dress. That's -5 to magic, but I don't need magic. Yeah, I made the bad choice with the chicken knife. I didn't realize what the difference between the chicken knife and the... I don't even remember what the name of the other one was. But apparently I chose wrong. Yeah, before this becomes a problem again. Let's just handle things. Okay, we're inside a castle. I mean, which, you know, makes sense. We've been inside a castle. Oh! Oh! No one told me it was one way. Now we're gonna have to do that whole thing again. You should really put a sign on there or something. You know, one-way dungeon door. Don't go in this way unless you won't want to come back. How long do you think we can go without healing Bart's? Before he dies. How many battles? Chair. Ah. Oh, okay. We want to sit in the chair. Gotcha. Ah. You'd leave without saying goodbye? I knew it. I knew it. How rude. I don't give my kiss of death to just anyone you know. Come here. I'll treat you right. Treat you to a slow death at the hands of I, the master of this castle. I, Halicarnassus! I like her outfit, though. You frogged us all! Literally all of us! Focusing power. Whoa. Arise. Reversing polarity. Just like the Robo-Bats off of Alpha Centauri 9. And, well, she survived. You're actually doing... Whoa! I, spoke too soon. Oh, come on! There we go. Congrats, Ferris. You defeated her with the aid of a heroic squadron of colorful frogs. I do like how all the frogs are different colors. Yeah. No surprise that the one lady who's like, oh yeah, we're friends, I want to give you a smooch. Oh yeah. Immediately comes back and kills me. Surprise. That's as far as you go. Beyond here, the power of the void is contained. You shall not enter. You're grumbly. Why are you called Twin Tanya? You're just one dude. Actually, if anything, you look more like Ultima Weapon. Actually, first, let's haste guy everybody. We need heals, so... Whoa! Pulling out some chaos stuff here. Wait, is that just... I was gonna say, is the tidal wave a reaction? Is it a retaliation attack, or is it just gonna always do that? And luckily, we actually gave her white magic, so we can heal ourselves to this. Oh, he mega flared us back! My mega flare was better. Oh. That was, I mean, it seems like a shame, because, like, I love the fact that we're actually getting unique monster designs for the bosses instead of just like recolors of existing monsters. Because that was a really cool monster design. And like, Halicarnassus's armor was also really cool. Give me the power of the void. I wish to defeat the Noid! Whoa. Crystal Dragon. Whoa, no, not cool, dude. You don't get to just do that like multiple times in a row like that. That's not cool. Gee. There we go. Shoot. Note to self, do not underestimate Crystal Dragon. They, much like Crystal Ponies, will mess you up. The Fuma Shuriken. Last of the Shuriken line. Oh, King Behemoth. Your Majesty. What is Kryl, the only one that got hit by the meteors? Two King Behemoths. Jeez. You gotta give him up for tenacity. Oh boy. How many attacks do they get? Where's the one that heals? Sylph. Yeah, let's see what Sylph can do for me here. Probably not much. Yeah, I wasn't exactly expecting a ton there. Oh, I should have healed up before I did this. Hey, Gilgamesh! Have at thee, vile beast! Take this! Wait a minute, Bart's? Zounds, this is no beast, this is just Bart's. You should have just said something. I don't like it here, you know. Creepy monsters look around every corner. And I can't find the way out. Cripes. Oh, a nervous breakdown. Anyway, how did you get in here? Or rather, how do you get out of here? Oh, geez, go that way. I see. Let us egress post-haste. When we're out of here, What say we have a few spectacular adventures together? Just us 5. Oh yes, I forgot. You've got that whole saving the world thing going on. Phooey! Well, if you make it out safely. Ha! No ifs about it. I'm certain we'll meet again. And when we do, I hope you'll consider me, never mind! Haha! Hasta la bye-bye! What the hell, Gilgamesh? Jeez. Well, I was right. He did come back at least one more time. The Gorgameras? Yeah, I've learned just not to screw with these things. Just freaking attack. Bring out the big guns right away. We've got plenty of ether. Look at all these Fuma Shurikens that are going to go to waste because we're a bunch of knights. Can I just say I'm so confused by the music right now? Hey, it's our old buddies Belphegor! Not using the bathroom. It's one point this has over the Persona series, I guess. You don't have to look at demons pooping. Mind flares! Oh, wow! Talk about throwbacks at this point. And they dropped a white robe. Oh! I'm not 100% sure this is gonna end well for me. If we couldn't take on Omega... Yeah. Somehow I don't think we've got a good chance here. Nope. Again, a label would be appreciated. Some sort of signage. Here there be super weapon, boss. Yep, we will be skipping the super weapon boss. And be going ahead with the rest of the dungeon. This keep giving me shurikens, don't you? I'm honestly very surprised we haven't had a single appearance of Exdeath yet. Okay, we're starting to get a lot more plant life here, mixed in with the crystal. Holy moly! The necromancer's outfit is just a robe made out of people's faces. There's a green glowy thing over here. Look at that! That's terrifying! And we became the living dead. No, she's still a zombie. Gotta cure her. What is this? This light will never fall into your hands. Oh. Necrophobe. Do I believe I can... Maybe I can defeat you? I don't know. How good are you resisting... Oh. Just realized I haven't really healed anyone up. This might prove to be a problem. My barriers of invincibility! You've left me with no choice. Have a taste of my true power! It's all you can eat! You just flashed us! Gross! Like how so far he is. His true power is, I'm gonna flash you, I'm gonna miss with an attack, and then I'm just gonna stab Bartz a little bit. There, now we actually get to see what her hurricane does. Okay. It's about what I thought it was gonna do, but... This guy does have quite a bit of health. Gilgamesh! Am I fashionably late to the party? Well, hello there! Surprised to see me? Ha! Thought I left you in the lurch? I'd look like a jerk for all of history! As if I would let that happen. You've got a big mouth. If you're so eager to fight, then you can be the first to die. Want a bet on that? Do your worst, Baldy. You can't even hold a birthday candle to the blazing flame of my winning spirit! I always pick the best conversations to switch him to French mode. Kyle, your grandfather was a pretty strong guy. Grandpa? And you, Ferris, try falling in love or something. You might learn a thing or two about yourself. Lena! You're always so caring towards the animals. Never lose that pure heart of yours. And Bart's, you are a jackass. I wanted to fight you one more time, mano a mano, of course. You have admirable companions. I envy you. Gilgamesh. I believe that's my line. Self-destruct. If you just held on a few minutes, Gilgamesh, I could have done that much damage to him. He died so that we could have a save spot. Let us never forget. Two to beam down. Well, doesn't that look ominous? I happen to notice that this map has no exits. Me thinking we should quick save.
You are too late. Finally, it is in my grasp. The greatest power ever known. That which can control the universe. The power of the void. Crush all who stand in my way. I think I'll begin with your precious friends. I hope you enjoy watching them get sucked into the void.
So he's a tree? Is that... He's... Holy crap. They're not playing around with this one. I took a second, like, why is he just doing that? And I just realized the pirate hideout. Oh, he's going petty. Oh, and those two guys that you guys hang out with sometime? Them two! Stop it! Let them go!
Now you too will meet your end. Inside the void.
Oh no. What the? Barts, stand up. Dad! Dad! Zezad! Kelger! Grandpa! Galoof. Tells that scoots over. Enter the Dawn Warriors. Bart, Lena, Ferris Kryl. We'll hold off the void. You kids just take care of Exdeath. The only ones who could save the world from the power of darkness are the Warriors of Light. That's you. Now go.
What? Why is the power of the void disappearing? No matter. Take this.
Father! Papa. Now! This is it! Take your chance. Destroy Exdeath. Onward, Warriors of Light! Oh, good, we get a chance to heal up or anything else we need for... we will quick save here, so in case we die, we don't have to watch the entire cutscene again. And... Magic... Kryl... Karaga... And we'll... Ethers! Time to go, tree. Exdeath, you better get ready, 'cause here we come. Oh god! Let's get our buffs rolling. Let's see. I don't think I really... Do I want to put, like, protect and all that on everybody? Because that's going to take forever. Oh! Well, shoot! Yeah, just throw it on everybody right now, just because I think everybody's down somewhat. Let's see here. I'm just kind of keeping Kryl on reserve right now. Like, I'm not letting her do anything right this second because, like, I don't know. Exdeath was engulfed by the void?
No! Why? The void was mine to command! How could it?
Did we win? No. Phase 2! Fight! I am Neo Exdeath.
All memories. Dimensions, all that shall return to nothing. Then I too can disappear forever.
Yeah, it's Neo Exdeath. Holy moly! Got a big old smash up of like every baddie ever. Oh, there's like 4 parts to him too. See, that is why we keep Kryl on standby, because, man, if something like that happens again, it's like, oh crap. The laws of the universe are in chaos. Don't dispel her. It's not very nice. The laws of the universe are in chaos. wonder what that means. Like, is he doing something with it? And then the background changes color. I don't know if the background changing color is related to anything. Grand Cross has stopped her from using magic? Oh, because she's a frog. Yes, by all means, keep throwing massive damage on the one person who's going to be dying in 12 seconds, no matter what. I heard something die. Are we going to kill this thing and Bart's is just going to be dead? Oh, here we go, Grand Cross again. Who's gonna die? Who's gonna live? Who's gonna whatever? No one dies. Why do you keep doing that to her? Oh, that snaps her out of it. Well, sounded like someone else died. I think we're getting close. I think there's only like one chunk of him left. No effect. I mean, and in defense, he does look like something that is all things compressed into one. And Doom didn't go off on Ferris either. How crazy is that? So what was his plan again? In the beginning, there was only the void. But from the void came the four essences. They formed the crystals, and the world was born. Hope blessed the earth. Courage blazed with flame. Devotion turned water into the seeds of life. And passion for knowledge spread wisdom on the winds. I don't know if that's how wind works. If ever the void threatens to engulf the world, so long as the four essences still exist in mankind, light will be born anew. It is from the void that the four essences will rise, and once again they will shine bright. So it's kind of like a cycle thing. Final Fantasy V did it way before Wally. The void is still here. But why? We beat Exdeath. Is it because the crystals are all gone? Will the world be engulfed by the void? Ah! Hope bless the earth. Courage, light the fires. Devotion, breathe life into the waters. Aw man, good thing we went back and got that mime crystal, because otherwise we'd be effed. Passion, the essence of wind. Spread knowledge on the winds. Hey, it's doing the thing that it was saying about it, the scrolly thing. Meanwhile, in the pyramids of ancient Egypt, so the crystal goes where the tablet was. Yeah. Going where the tablets were. Interesting. Of course. Now, if I skipped the tablets, would the tablets still be in these spots? I wonder. See, instead of like the illusory town that we wandered into when we entered the dimensional vortex, it would have been great to see like all the different parts of like Ball Castle or Tycoon Castle, and then you'd go through and it'd be like part of like Bartz's hometown, and like you all like chained together through like roots of a tree, like connecting them and everything. The world, it's being reborn. And the crystals as well. There was still power left in the crystal shards. Thank goodness. Lena, Ferris, Kral, I guess. Ass. It's because you took such good care of the shards. You did a pretty good job yourself, Bartz. Don't forget Grandpa! Now the wind will return to Tycoon. Correct, my dear. Dad. Grandpa. Father. Papa. Also Kelger, Zezat. The world still needs you. It's far too soon for you kids to be joining us. Go. Return to your world, the one you saved. We outie. Oh, no, hear you. Wait, here you turned into Phoenix. What? So is this a new Hear You? Is this Hear You 2? Made out of the souls of dead people? Like a phoenix. I guess. That makes sense in some ways. Like their souls were reborn to new Windrake, just like the Windrake became reborn into a phoenix. Right? Yep, that's a crystal. Grandpa! Oh, never mind. A letter's arrived. Dear Sid and Mid, how are you? It's me, Kryle. Somehow we made it back alive. The final battle seems like it was just a bad dream. Since then, I've traveled all over. Everything seems so peaceful now, like it was before. The Chancellor of Tycoon seems quite happy. However, Ferris seems worried about her pirate crew. Everyone in Ball is worried, since they have no heir to the throne. I could be the heir to the throne, if it wasn't for the patriarchy. Maybe I'll be queen. Yeah, in my dreams. It'd be cool, though. Like, why wouldn't you be? Your grandfather was the last king. Hereditarily, you are the only eligible person in the bloodline. Bots went back to his hometown. He's not giving up traveling, but he said he wanted to spend some time near his parents before he set out again. Oh, Boko and Coco had their chicks. Baby chocobos are the cutest. You simply must go see them. I do like how in the later Final Fantasy games, they actually show you what a baby chocobo looks like, and they just look like chickens. It's been a year since then. Lena and Ferris are busy running Tycoon, and Bots is off on another one of his journeys. I think I'll go back to that place, to where Grandpa's resting. If any of the others happen to stop by, no, I'm sure they'll come. Tell them I can't wait to meet up with them again. Kryle, you did an outstanding job. You all dead. Flashing back to some of the more epic moments from the game. Aww. Barts. Don't know if that's a highlight for her. This was a moment, like, crowning moment of awesome for her. Ha ha ha, awkward. Lena. The Chancellor forced her out. She cleaned it up good. Oh, when Sildra died. And when we found out that Ferris was a woman. Poor little Kryl. I do like that they kind of gave it like a big brother little sister thing to like Bartz and Kryl like in the third act. It was really kind of cute. The way the two of them kind of played off of each other. Meanwhile, at the Hall of Justice... Oh, never mind. We're going this way. Why is it always Tweez? If Grandpa hadn't saved me back then... The crystals have been restored, and everything's peaceful, but for some reason, I'm sad. I guess it's just that since Grandpa died, I've been all alone. Do 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 do. Galoof! Yeah, that was awesome. See you, Grandpa. What are you talking about? You're not alone. We're here with you. Buck up, kiddo. Everyone's here! You all made it! As if there were any doubt. Like I forget about a friend after everything we went through. Everyone, you... There's no need for tears, Kryle. This is a time to be strong. If Galoof were here, he'd laugh at your blubbering, kiddo. Aww, flowers. Yeah, you're right. He's probably laughing right now. The crystals have regained their power. It's time. This time it's up to us to protect them. Like Dad and the others did. Say, do you hear that? Aye, that I do. Grandpa's voice. No, it's just the wind blowing through the trees. Or the rippling of the water? Or the crackling of a fire? Or the shifting of the earth? Dunno. I'm not sure what it is, but... I can hear it. Yes, it feels warm somehow. Let's go. Everyone got a boko. Adventure! Wow. Wow. Well, I guess at this point there's just final thoughts to wrap up on as the credits roll. And I will say, I was really happy with this one. Like, I didn't know what to expect. Like, this is the last one I'd ever not played, and for the most part... Aw, look, they're running around. I didn't know really what to expect. I'd played 4, I had played 6. I figured this one would fall somewhere in between those two, and just in terms of, like, design, development, aesthetic type of thing. But no, this one, far and away, decided to just take the concept and run in a different direction with it. This is by far the most comedic take on a Final Fantasy game, and that's not a bad thing. The entire game is kind of set up in this way that it's kind of like a fun adventure. There's jokes, there's laughs, there's dramatic points that are really, really heart-wrenching sometimes. And there are times when the characters are... They're not flat, one-dimensional characters. They're like, Bart's... You know, he's kind of a stumbling kind of guy. He speaks plainly. He says what's on his mind. And as he's talking, you know, he'll come off sometimes as a jerk. But that's just because he wears it all on his shoulder, on his sleeve. He's honest. He just says what he's thinking. He means well, but he doesn't always think before he says anything. So he ends up becoming kind of a doofus. But his heart's in the right place, and he works very hard to, like, make sure that... I am loving these sprites, by the way. This is, like, the only time you get, like, a isometric view on some of these things, and it's kind of crazy, but it's awesome. And it comes off as kind of like this... He never comes off as, like, a flat character. He's very well-rounded. He's got multiple layers to him, although, much like some other characters, a lot of times you could probably overlook a lot of his other traits. And the same with Len, who honestly has, like, probably the most interesting kind of conflict in the fact that she is constantly torn between she wants to save her father, she wants to save the world, and she wants to protect her kingdom. And by the end, she's failed to do all three of those things, really. Exdeath gets what he wants, her father's dead, and the kingdom gets absorbed immediately into the dimensional rift. So in the entire third act, she is in a place where she is desperate for a win. Varys is constantly struggling with what she wants to be in life. Galoof is trying to deal with the fact that, you know, he didn't have his memories at first, so he's just kind of a wacky, fun character, but as soon as he gets his memories back, he becomes a rock of, like, the plot. Like, he knows what's at stake, he knows what Exdeath can do, and he's not afraid to share that with people, you know, and make sure you know what's going on. He's a king, he's a ruler, he, you know, knows how to take care of his people, he knows how to handle as a general and a warrior. Honestly, if there was anything that I could really say that I was really lacking is I am 100% confused on Exdeath. Like, I got that he wanted to merge the worlds, he wanted to take control of the void, but I never really understood why. Like, I'm assuming he was a creature that dwelt before the rift was created and got, you know, imprisoned in it at one point or something. I don't know. Why was he a tree? I get trees were very important to the plot. Trees kept coming up in the plot, but then he also was a tree. Which I don't know if that was supposed to recognize the fact that trees are a symbol of divinity in this world, because the trees leading up to that point were like spiritual guardians, like anchors of reality. And then he turns into a tree, or he always was a tree. I have no idea which one that is. There was just a lot of questions with Exdeath towards the end, which is sad, because honestly I found him to be a very interesting villain. Up until the point where, you know, towards the end, it was just kind of like, why are you doing this? Where did you come from? How did this get to this point? Why are you doing this? And I felt like there could have been a lot more built into that. Like, why? What is his motivation? Let's see, beyond that, job system. Really liked it. I still think 10.2 has the better iteration, but I really liked the being able to switch around abilities type of thing. Being able to custom build your type of your loadout, and so you could be like, you know, oh, I need some extra healing, or I need extra this, I need extra that. The downside is because they had so many 22 different jobs, you end up with a lot of abilities that are just, I don't know when you would ever use these. I know from my 100% playthrough that I'm doing in my own time that there's a lot of them that get used when you're like trying to do the blue magic stuff, because there's a certain combinations you absolutely need to pull off to get some of the blue magic abilities and learn them. But in the end, on a casual playthrough, most of that stuff goes to waste, and there's not really a point in doing it. Heck, you don't even need to master all the jobs unless you're going for, like, achievements. Because really, you just need one from each the best representative of each stat mastered. And then freelancer it up so you get the best of everything. Really, it's the passives when you're in freelancer mode that become the biggest advantage to unlocking everything else. Because you get all the passives. But, let's see, other than that, what else can I say about this game? I mean, I dug the two worlds separated. I mean, really, more than anything, I want to know more. Like, that's, I guess, my biggest complaint. There's not enough. I want to know more of the history of this world. More about why the rift had to be, why the world had to be divided, and the rift had to be all this other stuff. Like, go more into the backstory, please. I would love it. And part of this just may be the fact that I'm not remembering it. This has been probably one of the longer playthroughs in terms of session-wise. How many sessions I've had to play it through it to complete it. And I'm not 100% sure. They may have actually covered some of this stuff, and I just may have forgotten it. And that's on me, but honestly, even then, even if they did cover all of it, still would love to have more. And I think that's a sign of a great game. Like, when it leaves you just sitting there going, I would play more of this. I would play a prequel. I would play a sequel. You know, where's Final Fantasy V after years? Because I'd take it. I'd play it in a heartbeat. But no, this one never got any sort of sequels. Well, that's not true. It did get a sequel. It got an anime, which is weird. What the... Oh, did we just go reviewing all the stuff she had? Yes. All abilities learned. Everything learned. Same with everybody here. I maxed out all the jobs. Grinding in my spare time. I guess that really raises a question for you guys. I mean, would you want to see the grinding? Like, moving forward? Like, do you want me to actually, like, grind on stream and then just, you know, put that all in the stuff? I don't know. I mean, you let me know. I will happily agree to it, but I figure a lot of that's just me going back and forth and fighting monsters, like, left, right, left, right, left, right. Like, I ended up getting a ton of AP by going and, like, trying to find more of those. I did a bunch of it with, like, going around and doing that, and I also did magic pots and things like that with some of my elixirs. I think he gets to fight Exdeath. Yes. But yeah, in the end, it was one of those things where it's just kind of like... Yeah, and then we got the anime sequel, which takes place like 300 years after this, and Bartz and Ferris and all them only show up as a ghost in the in a small flashback moment type of thing. Not a satisfying sequel. Not to mention, like, the main plot revolves around... It really takes a bit of the comedy bit from this, because, like, the main character ends up absorbing the crystal into her body, which is most notably noted by the fact that the crystal reacts and glows, which causes her butt to glow. Not even joking. That is an actual plot point. Final Fantasy Legend of the Crystals. Look it up. It's weird. And yeah. Ultimately, but I think this was a great game. It's definitely on my short list for some of my favorites, honestly, at this point. And I like the fact that the characters had the characters were interesting all on their own. Like, there weren't any moments where it's like... And that leads into, like, 6, where 6 has some really great characters. And this feels like a natural kind of progression where the stuff... Except, you know, as I said, this one leans heavily on the comedy, and that's not bad. I laughed my butt off in parts of this game. Adored it. But, that's, that was great. Oh, man. No, I really enjoyed that. So. With that in mind, I'd like to thank you all for sticking with me here. We're probably going to be taking a break from the Final Fantasy series for a little bit, just so the VODs on YouTube can get caught up with where we're at. I don't want to start a new game, before we really we're still so far behind on the YouTube channel with the edited VODs. We're in, I think we just got to the merged world in the last episode that went up last Friday. So we might do something else here. We might try out a different game or something like that in the midtime. I'm still planning on streaming. Speaking of, if you're really interested, the Hat's coming off this Saturday at 2 p.m. Mountain. The Hat's coming off. We're going to turn Gaming Way loose on a couple of RPG Maker games that have been sitting around in my Steam library for some time. See what the little Loprit thinks about all those. So feel free, please join us for that as well. So that'll be Saturday afternoon this week. We're calling it Gaming Way's Fun Time. So, all things said, I think we're just going to call it for a night. I want to thank you all for stopping in. I want to thank everybody for all of the new follows. It's been great having you here. And I want to thank all of my viewers. You guys hang in there, you chill out, you watch, enjoy. I always just appreciate you guys being here. It's always so fun to enjoy this with people. Like, that's why I started doing this, really. It's just so we could experience Final Fantasy together. Because it's one of those things where I love this franchise so much. I wanted to make sure I had played through all of it in recent memory. Because I don't think I've ever played a bad mainline Final Fantasy game. Really. I'm the type of person who will defend 15, I'll defend 13, I'll defend 8, I'll defend... Well, I mean, let's be honest, 2 kind of sucked, but even then I can find something good about it. 2 is probably still my least favorite one, but, you know, some people like that one, and I can see why. It's definitely a very different game to try out. That being said, if you're interested at all in seeing any of my other stuff, any of my other content, the edited videos or anything like that, my recommendation is to visit me over at Rykirian.com. That is my main website where everything gets posted, the full stream archives, the edited VODs, other content. We're currently writing up the summary of the Endwalker main scenario quests. So we're just currently editing the second chapter of those, which has been being posted every now and then. And then, of course, there are a ton of other stuff on there. So that's the best place to find me. It also has links to my Tumblr, my Twitter, everything. It's the central place to find me. Of course, you can always find me on Twitter at Rykirian, YouTube at Rykirian. It'll take you to my main channel. And I always appreciate a follow here on Twitch. Subscribe over on YouTube. Always helps. comments always help. Doesn't cost anything, and I always appreciate them. I've been getting a lot of advice actually on this game over on YouTube, because we have people who constantly come over there and be like, oh, you should do this, or oh, remember to do that, or do this before you do that, and it'll be to save you some trouble in the long run. And I appreciate that. I really, really do. It helps, because going into this blind, sometimes you're just kind of like, what do I do? Where do I go? What? Like, figuring out that frickin' under the ocean thing, and then figuring out that I should look at the actual map instead of just like the little one that's in the corner to find the little area over there that had looked different. Well, that solved things pretty quick, but it's not one of those things you think of right away. So I always appreciate every bit of it, a little help you guys give, all the love you show. I always appreciate it. You guys are awesome, and you make this so worth doing it. And with that in mind, I'm going to close it out here for the night. I just wanted to leave with a thank you and appreciate you. And also, look how close we are to our goal. So close. It's like 11 or 12 more people following, and we hit our 50. That's so awesome. I never thought we'd have like 10. You guys rock. Alright. Thank you, and have a great night. Bye-bye.